bolo. What is this guy? Is he some kind of a mass, something or other? Is he, what the fuck? Is he $1 million fucking man? And what's going on? Because they're spending tens of thousands of dollars since the beginning of tracking me. But over the last 5, 6 years, this is not an exaggeration, tens of thousands of dollars. And possibly more if I can prove it. Okay, so the trash barrel gets knocked over. So the day the trash barrel gets knocked over, the very next day, I get the red truck, the really big 1-ton red pickup, not the little S10 red pickup, but the big nice one. That truck's got to be worth 60, 70 grand, easy, beautiful truck. Got a camera in the fucking front of it. So that camera truck stays there for 2 days at a time, usually. That's about it, 1 to 2 days at a time, no more than that. But it's been other times that truck has sat in that same position, in that same place. So neighbors just assume that it's somebody that's visiting a neighbor, right? Truck don't belong there. It doesn't belong to anybody that lives here. It lives in the neighborhood. But when you see it there, you just assume. So unless you're like me, where you're, suspicious of the fucking truck, then no one's going to go and look around and even see what the hell's going on. So as I was picking up the trash that day, I had my cameras rolling. I even went around the block looking to see if other people had their trash barrels knocked down. And nobody else did. Nobody else in this area had a tipped over trash. In other words, was there a bear? Did a bear come up or something large that could knock over a 150-pound trash barrel and knock it on the ground? And for some reason, this hungry animal that was so hungry to knock over the barrel didn't even eat any of the food. There's still a half a chicken there. There's fucking, all the bones are there. They're not like scattered upon the ground. There's boxes of cereal, popcorn. Remember the bag of popcorn if you go back and look at the video? So it was obvious to me that somebody tipped over the trash, and I assumed at that time that they were looking for something. Like, for example, a damaged computer, a crushed, broken computer that was run over by a car that I just said on YouTube a couple weeks earlier to that. Prior to that, I explained that the computer got destroyed. So I just assumed that that's what they were looking for, something along those lines. Or maybe some kind of a paper trail, like I was saying before. They're trying to find out where my job is, where I'm working, so that, because one of the agents wants to prove that. One of the agents wants to prove that I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for the last 12 years since I've been off the grid, right? Because I'm off the grid. I've been off the grid for 12 years or more. And so they want to prove that I have not been off the grid and I'm actually making buku bucks and I got money hand over fist. Good luck. Good luck with that one. So they have to place false evidence and they have to use false evidence in order to make that accusation, because I have not been working and making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. But that's hard for people to believe. They say, okay, why is he still smiling then? How can he still possibly be laughing if he has nothing, he owns nothing, and he got nothing in his life? Because my nothing and your nothing are two different things. You think that I have nothing. That when I say I have no car, no home, no nothing, you think that that's all that matters in life. So that's why you think that. That's not the way I look at life. That's not why I'm here. I'm not here for the fucking cars. I'm not here for the homes. I'm not here for your fucking money. Okay. I'm here doing what I'm trying to do on YouTube is what I found that I'm here for. That's my reasoning in life. So when I found this, now for the last 5, 6 years, I've dedicated all of my life revolves around showing the human population, whether it be on the street, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on Facebook, family, friends, doesn't matter. That's what my life revolves around. Every ride to the grocery store, every fucking time I take a walk down the Cumbies, whatever I do, I'm on that mission, believe me. And everybody will think that you're nuts unless you approach it the right way, which I do. Okay, so this video is probably already at 45 minutes. I gotta hurry the fuck up. What's it at? So it's at 51 minutes. I'm gonna have to break the video in half anyway. I'll have to break the video in half. Anyway, I should probably go get a fucking cigarette and finish the video. Hold on a minute. Okay, so I gotta build a camera mount for this car too. So I'm borrowing a car from a friend of mine, so that I can follow these pricks. Otherwise, they're just gonna get me before I can get enough evidence on them. And just so you guys know, you agents, I'm talking to the agents again, you guys are probably my #1 subscribers. You guys are probably my top subscribers since I started YouTube. It's fucking amazing. It's amazing. You're looking, myself, when I started out, I was thinking that, real people were going to come along, people that would actually look and see things for themselves and things like that. Even if I only got one or two of them, hopefully they would be people with names, with big channels and stuff like that. No, never gonna fucking happen. Never gonna happen. So the only thing I'm hoping for now to be able to do with these videos is use them when this all goes down and use them in court, which I probably won't even be able to, because I probably won't even be allowed a trial or anything. It won't be a fair trial, I'll tell you that. So whatever they're gonna nail me on, internet shit, internet stuff, they put so much shit onto the computers and the cell phones that I have to throw away and trash my computers and cell phones, because I know that that's what they're doing. So even if I go into my own, and this is not just a me thing, people, this is an everybody thing. Everybody's going through this and they don't even know it. They don't even realize it. So if you play along with their shit, and everyone's not willing to throw their cell phones away and throw their camera phones in the trash and use the True Creators system and use the True Creators work in order for us to hold on a minute, I gotta check something. So anyways, so I'm using a friend's car. I've been doing this all along anyways, but the other cars that I was using, they know the vehicles. So this one here, they don't know. Because anytime I'm going to be in this vehicle, I'm not going to have these cell phones on. Definitely not my cell phone that I use as a telephone, but this camera phone. The camera phone, same thing. I cannot have the camera on while I'm driving in this vehicle. The only reason I'm doing it right now is because I know that they're nowhere around me, and I know that they're not going to find me. So I've taken a chance with this camera for a little while. They can't even get over here to where I am right now. They can't not even get down here to locate me unless they were to use a drone. And I'm not going to give them enough time to do that. So they'll have an idea of the address if they use the tracking system that they're using. They'll have the address, but by the time they get the drone up in the air and out to me, I'll already have this thing hidden, because that's what I'm doing with it right now. And what I'm going to do is, from now on, whenever I'm doing anything, I'm going to make sure that I shut both of these phones off when I'm doing it. Because this way they won't be able to track me, and I'll be able to get around peacefully without being followed and fucking tracked everywhere. But I'm still going to keep following and tracking them on foot and on the bike, because I have to. And then when I'm following, when I get them located, whenever I get them located, like right now I'm safe. Right now, even if they brought in a drone, they wouldn't even be able to see me. So that's fine with me. And then what I'll do is, every time I go to take this thing out and use it, then I'll make sure that I do it the right way. Until maybe I'll get a month out of it. We'll see. Maybe I'll get a month out of, if they don't take me down by then, we'll see how that goes as well. Because I'm expecting every day, I expect them to, surround me and fucking take me out. They just have to get something on me with what they're doing. I was starting to say earlier about the pot. So what they did was they They picked my plants during harvest. Then they went into my trash barrel at my kid's house and took out the trash bags. They might have got the baggies, but the baggies looked really clean. They didn't look like they had like food in them. The baggies, but they were the baggies that come from my buddy's house. I mean, I have a handful of them myself at the other house, but I'm thinking that they went into his trash and took the baggies. That's what I think they did, because those are the baggies that we use for the weed, for first pot. So what they were doing was they were setting me up, and I'm not accusing the locals of doing this because I don't think they would, and not even the state. This would have to be CIA or some other agents that are able to work independently of the law, and they go beyond and below the law, where real true officers of the law, they're not able to get involved until the damage is already done. So in other words, once the weed was already safely put in the car, which I made it very easy for them and that was stupid of me, I never locked my cars. I never have locked my vehicles in all my life. All my life, no matter where I lived, I never used to lock my vehicles. Now, everywhere I park now, I have to lock my cars up, and that sucks. So you can't trust the fucking good guys, but yet the bad guys that I'm told all over the news all the time that they're going to steal my stuff, steal my vehicle, they never did. They never, I'm trying to think back. I've never had a car stolen. And even if they did, who give a fuck? So someone needed a car and they stole it. I wouldn't even fucking care. I would care less about that than I do about this shit, right? So that's going on. So, so then what they did was they used the baggies, bagged up my weed that they stole from my fucking plants, put them in trash bags, so all that shit could all be tracked back to me. And then they go and fucking, it's fucking unbelievable, man. And then they go and put it in the car. Not a lot, but just enough to get someone in trouble for transporting marijuana, right? And marijuana is still a federal offense no matter what. The federal government does not go along with it. So even though Massachusetts goes along with it, if I would have crossed state lines accidentally, not knowing it, or anybody else driving that same car, because it wasn't my car anyway that they did that to, it was my girlfriend's car. So if they do shit like that, what else can you fucking expect, right? And then I see what they're doing with the computers. I know what they're doing on the internet. They go in, sabotage my channels, but that's besides the point. They're in my emails. They're in, Google. They're all part of it. Google, YouTube, Twitter, fucking all the message. It's all the same, man. It's all the fucking same. So unless you people out there, including the agents, but everybody, all my, subscribers, I think they got 7 of them now on this channel, and I think there's only 3 of them that are, myself included, me and 2 others, that are actually watching the videos. I don't know if there's any messages up there, so to any of you that might be messaging me, I'll get back to the message board, but right now I just got so much to try to figure out that I don't want to be confused even more so by these agents. Now, if you are out there and you might be offering to help me, I would love to have some help with what's going on here. I need some fucking help with what's going on here, but I don't know who to fucking trust, right? So, so I will go to the messages because I am hoping to find someone who's a real person that can assist in some of this and take some of the burden off my hands. I don't know what the fuck that noise is. This car's making some weird noises. The heater don't work for shit in this car either. Not very good anyways. It takes like a half hour for the thing to warm up. But that's okay. I mean, it's fine. So now what I'm going to be able to do on a regular basis again is I was doing this a couple months ago when I first started tracking these guys, is I shut my phones off. I bike or walk to another destination. I lock up the bike, pick up the vehicle, and then drive to another destination. And then from that destination, I never am able to turn my phones back on until I get back to either some other point where they already know to track me at or whatever. I don't want to give them anything more in addition. If I decide to, I'll let you guys know. Like for example, if they find this vehicle that I'm in now, if they end up finding this vehicle and they start tracking me in this vehicle, then I just got to give the vehicle back to my buddy and you know and let him know the car's being watched, and that's about it. But it's no use. So this is already because I had Jen's car for I don't know, a week or two, and then the reason why they got me in Jen's car and started tracking me in that vehicle, uh, I believe this is what was happening was the cell phones. Even when you take the battery out, I learned out of the small cell flip phones, you take the battery out. There's still another backup battery that holds memory, and they're still able to pick up a small signal. So they'll get a small signal somewhere in the area. They'll know I am, and if they get lucky and locate and see my face, they'll know what vehicle I'm driving. When they see me go to that vehicle, they'll know what vehicle I'm in. So I believe that's what happened with that one. And then I had another vehicle from a friend of mine who passed away. His wife let me use his vehicle, and or it's hers now. And so I was using that vehicle as well. Um, and the same thing, I believe, is what happened. It is kind of a similar thing. So with that one, it was this camera. It was the one that I'm on now because I had the battery out of the other phone and I left the other phone behind. So how would they track me? How would they follow me and find me other than this camera here? So I said to myself, okay, so then what I have to do is I have to even shut this camera off too. I can't assume because I'm sorry. It's not a matter of just shutting it off because if I just shut it off, how are they still finding me if one phone's not even on me and the other phone is shut off? How are they still locating me? Well, because this phone also has a backup battery. But I was also confused and wondering, is this one of my guys? No. I was also wondering about some other tracking capabilities that they had. This phone's not a real phone; it's only a camera phone. So you think to yourself, I did anyways. How the hell are they doing that? If it's not how's it pinging? How's it pinging from cell tower to cell tower if it's not even hooked up as a cell phone? So it's easy, but through the internet. So even though I don't even subscribe to having a hookup, I don't have 5G on this phone, none of that shit on this cell phone, right? But yet they still found me. So I'm saying, fuck. So now what I realized just recently, really, that I'm positive about it now. I had suspicions, but now I'm positive. The only way I can get rid of these fucking guys from following me and tracking me is I cannot have either one of these phones with me. I have to have nothing on me at all. Now, when they go to start chipping everybody and they put a chip in us, they fucking track you and follow you any fucking where they want, right? So just like the chip in the phone. It's just like they track the chips in the phone. They can track us and they don't need to call us. They don't need to. It's not like the old days. And that's where my mistake was. I was thinking like back in the day when I was doing investigation work, you had to call the person, keep them on the phone for a limited amount of time in order to get a track on their phone. That's the way it used to work back in the old days. And then those were landlines a lot back then. Those were not even, so we were tracking landlines back then. Nowadays, it's cell phones. I only know the little bit of information that they put out is a lie. In other words, they say, "Oh yeah, they can ping from pole to pole, but you got to keep the phone open with them." Now, all those days are done. Just like right now, you're all doing it with your spouses and your children and shit, right? I don't do that with my kids, but you can you can track each other's phone. You want to know where your kid is, you want to know where your spouse is, or whatever, and then all of a sudden you see the spouse shuts their tracking device off on their phone. It's because they don't want you to follow them to their girlfriend's house or their boyfriend's house or something. So they shut the thing off, and then the other person gets pissed and starts calling, and then next thing you know, you say, oh, well, I must have been in an area where my phone wasn't going through because I got no service or whatever. It's hard to come up with bullshit stories for those situations now, because even the everyday average citizen has those capabilities, right? But they're beyond that for everybody else. For the investigators and the agents, they don't even need to do that anymore. You don't even need. And then if you want to just be a regular person too, let's say you don't have a family phone, but you want to follow somebody and you want to track them. You can do that with the services. My buddy Brian showed me how to do that. My buddy Brian that passed away, he showed me how to do that, and that's what they were doing to me. Some of these agents were using that service. That's the only way that I found it. Now, government agents don't have to use those services. There are services out there where if you pay them on average, like $3 is probably the average. $3.28. It'll have odd numbers. $3.28. You put it on your credit card, debit card, whatever, and they will. You have to then get in contact with that phone. Then you have to then call them, and you have to have either text or call them, and you have to keep them on the phone for a certain amount of time. It's not very long, seconds. It's not even really a whole minute. They ask you to keep them on the line for 2-3 minutes, but it's really just seconds. That's why if you can get them to text back and forth, those are just quick, bing, bing, quick 2-second texts, right? And they're able to track it with just a text message. And then you can then track that cell phone and know where it is located, where it's going, where it's parked, where it's headed, all that kind of thing. So you want to, granted, you can't follow them all over town the way that the federal agents or even the local and state agencies can do. You don't have those capabilities. I'll use another example. If you ever have a scanner and you're listening to 911 calls, right? Okay, so you listen to those 911 calls. The 911 operator knows where the person is calling from that's calling in the 911 call. They know. What happened here? Something beeped. I don't know if it went into another, I don't know what the fuck that noise was. Anyways, they'll know where the call is coming from right away as soon as you call in. They'll say, yes, I know where you're calling from. But they're asking you that, but they already know. They just want to know if you're going to lie to them and say, oh, I'm over here on, Suffolk Street, when really you're on Beach Street or whatever, And then if you lie, they'll tell you where you really are. And they'll say, no, that's not where you are. Or if you say to them, or if you hear somebody on the scanner say, I don't know where I am. I just know that I just saw a car accident over here. And then the officer will say, the exact streets that you're on. And you're like, and you'll hear them or yourself. And you'll be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. I just passed that store or that street or whatever a minute ago. And then the 911 operator will say, okay, yes, we have your location, blah, blah, blah. That happens in seconds. That means that the local and the state and the feds all know that shit within seconds of tracking a call, right? So they don't need to do like we do, like the average citizen, they don't have to do it our way. Anyways, that was a lot of shit just looking at a shifter. There's no visual in this video. It was all just me more or less talking about the shit that I'm going through with these agencies. So I got a few more faces to add. We got a couple more women to add to the list now, at least anyways, because it was looking very male chauvinist for a while there. It still is looking male chauvinist anyways. And I mean, yeah, I guess that's about all. I was going to mention all that shit. Talked about the vehicles. I think I got all the vehicles now marked. If I don't have the vehicles on video, then some of them I just have their plates on videos. On other videos, I got them in a lot. I got a lot. There's a lot of these agents that are all on video now, and every time I say they're going to run out of vehicles or run out of faces, they send a new vehicle and a new face. So I'll say it again. They got to be running out of fucking vehicles and faces by now. I don't even know what I'm up to now. I'm definitely way over 20 30 vehicles now. Faces, I'm 15, 20 faces into it now. 15 to 20 different characters. Some of them might be the same person dressed differently or somehow fooled me into thinking that they're someone else. But for the most part, somewhere around 15, 20 different faces. You're talking tens of thousands of dollars just in leg time, foot time, travel time, gas time, all that kind of shit in order to follow me and track me. I'm a nobody, so that's important to remember what the hell's going on here. So when this all goes down and my channels end up doing a disappearing act, I won't be able to use them in court. So I have to find a way to do this and go back. And I've got a way, because right to the right of me, right over here, I'm looking at two old VHS camcorders, and I'm going to start using them. I'm going to start setting them up, and I'm going to start putting those on into use again. I just picked them up, but they're brand new. They're brand new. My uncle who's passing away gave them to me. So I figured I'm going to take advantage of that, because I'm going to need some evidence in my hands when all this ends up going to court to say, look, Your Honor, I mean, the fucking pricks have been following me for fucking 10 years, 11 years, and now finally they're busting me on driving with a expired license, and that's what they're getting me on. 11 years, tens of thousands of dollars spent in fucking tracking me, and that's what they want on me. It's fucking stupid. Makes no sense. There's obviously something more to this. Why don't we go look at my YouTube channels? And then when we do go look at my YouTube channels, they're going to be gone, because the same people that are fucking bringing me through all this shit are the same people that are running YouTube. So I'll be back.